Welcome to the PokeOpinion. I'm Thatch, and on today's show, we talk about what might be next for the Pokemon franchise. How might Pokemon Champions affect Pokemon game design? Could we even see the return of fan-favorite spin-off franchises with the Nintendo Switch 2? We cover this and a lot more in today's topic. If you could take a moment, though, before you start, and rate, subscribe, like whatever you can on whatever platform you're listening on, it helps us out, and we appreciate every single person that does it. But now, guys, let's puckle up and get into this week's episode.
And now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puclpodcast.
It's Puckle! Puckle! It's Puckle! Puckle! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! Puckle! Puckle.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Puclpodcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my spectacular co-host. We've got the one and only Sharkfinnagen.
Hello.
And we've got the wonderful and bubbly as always, Clod 9.
Hello, everyone.
Back for another episode. Yeah. So welcome to the Puclpodcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything from the Pokemon game or the Pokemon video game to the Pokemon trading card game to everything in between. We're also the longest running Pokemon podcast, been on the air since 2007, and we've released consistent content since then. So we really appreciate everybody being here. But yeah, welcome to the Puclpodcast. Today, we are going to be talking about a few different things, I guess. But I wanted to ask you guys what you've been up to in Pokemon lately. I've been doing I've actually done a lot of Pokemon stuff this week. So I'm actually pretty interested to hear what you guys have.
I would say the same, but I went to my locals this week again because I now have free time and I like going to locals, and I made a bunch of I opened up a couple of really cool prize packs. My locals I went 3-0 with Terravox because I love Terravox and it's super fun. But I learned that my locals is very casual and I need to build more casual decks. So I'm trying to build Synestia.
I like I really appreciate that is your response, by the way, to that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but I digress.
So,
go ahead, and I'll let you keep telling your story. But yeah.
Say when the 3 matches I played were against Lycanroc Bach. Lycanroc? It was Lycanroc? Yeah. Lycanroc Frostlass. Then it was Hydrapple.
Oh,
into the finals was a Dragapult Frostlass variant.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry for them.
They got I felt bad for them because they had a good deck, but it was all right, cool. Ogerpon, Wellspring, Crispin, with the crystal, knock out your 2 Dreepies. And I did that 3 turns in a row. And I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing you can do about that. I got very lucky. And one of the other guys there was playing Walls. And that was, granted, I got lucky. I didn't have to face him, but okay, so 90% of what I'm up against is, garbage, fun stuff. And I love that. So
no, I love that too. I love that for you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Sinistcha is a good deck.
Cool. So I'm going to build Sinistcha, and I pulled the full art Lily's Clefairy, and I pulled the full art Ends Reshiram, and one of the guys who traded me the full art for it. So I'm like, oh, cool. Let's trade for Lily's Clefairy and all the pieces I need to put together Sinistcha, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm missing one of the baby Sinistchas, and I'm like, it's annoying because I think you need 3 and I only have 2. So
yeah,
it's
three's ideal. You could probably even get away with 4. There was so actually I went, my wife and we did a date. This is the coolest date that we've done in a long time. But what we did is my wife is really into painting miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons and other things like that, right? And so because of that, I'm also very much into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm into, different tabletop RPGs, and these are all sold at the same stores, right? and we frequent the same stores around here pretty much all the time. But she was just like, wouldn't it be cool if like we went to like Columbus, Ohio, and we went around Columbus and we visited all the game stores. And so what we did was I plotted a route through Columbus where we would hit like 7 or 8 game stores just to like look at their stock, see what they had. That was like the whole idea of the date.
Cool. Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And so this is what reminds me for the Sinister deck. I was in the process of building the Sinister deck at that time. Like this was maybe 6 or 7 months ago. And what we did was when we built the Sinister deck, we went, I was like at the store and they just have all their bulk that's not the rares just on the shelf, and you dig through the bulk and then you go up there and you talk to them like, hey, I want to buy this card, this card, this card. The problem is the only card I needed was a Sinister, not a Sinister, a Poltergeist. Or not a Poltergeist. What do they call themselves now? Poltergeist. Poltergeist. Yeah.
Poltergeist.
I needed the Poltergeist. And so I dug and I found the Poltergeist. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. But the Poltergeist is worth like a penny on TCG Player. It's like literally a penny. And so I walk up to the front desk and I'm like, I want to buy this. And the guy goes, just take it. It's not even worth, it's not worth the credit card transaction. It's not worth you handing me a dime. Just walk out of the store. Just walk out of the store with it.
I did the same thing a couple weeks ago with I found a Spanish ferret. I'm like, oh, I'd like this. And I go up to the guy and they're like, that's 5 cents. And I'm like, yep. He's like, go.
Just take it.
It's not worth it.
Just take it.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time running the transaction for the penny, right?
No.
You know? So, yeah.
So,
that was
like, granted, I remember hearing your story about Sinister, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to build it. And like, I've been testing it, and I'm like, this is
it's
not
fun.
as good as I want it to be. Granted, I'm playing nothing but meta decks on the ladder right now because I leveled up to Ultra Ball for
Badge Bonanza.
And now I'm like, all right, well, now all this is fun stuff. And I don't know how good any of this is. You're like, I get a couple of like lucky games. Like, oh, cool. You're right. Like having a 1 prize attacker that can hit for like 270 is nuts, or 280 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do like it. I like For Alligator a little bit better, but
I believe that's what if I'm going to play a fun deck, I'm going to play Grass. And I put together Gardevoir as well because I can then swap out like some pieces for some like janky attackers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Now I can play a different game slightly. Or even then, like, Gardevoir requires so much skill to even play right, like, even into bad matchups, that I'm like, all right, this is going to be a little more fun for at least me to toy around and mess with people's heads with.
Absolutely. I understand that. But yeah.
I keep Shark? Scouring. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Clod. No.
I'm just scouring all the stuff online for stuff, but go.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I haven't done too much. The big things I was doing since I last was on was doing the TCG Pocket for Badge Bonanza, trying to rank up as far as I can on that, and then trying to keep cranking through just a replay of Scarlet Violet, just to be able to get the shiny Meloetta by getting a living dex put together. So
I'm
just kind of cranking
off.
through that is really.
I'm holding off on that for the Switch 2 because I want to like play the enhanced version.
That's fair.
Yeah, I want to play the. So it's
a free. They get a free update that you can actually run the game probably as the way it was intended to be without all the graphical issues.
Yeah,
I will say it is probably worth it because I forget how terrible the frame rate is
bad,
on like
especially
water,
in places.
Specific water is like, it is pretty to look at, but it is so laggy. Like I feel it. I'm like, I could see why. Like, no, this is not fun as I remember. But
no, I couldn't.
I think it might be better on Switch 2 for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping off in the distance, like the windmill doesn't turn in like static increments.
Oh
gosh, I didn't think of that.
I'm hoping the windmill is out in the distance and it's turning, because like they did show some really cool stuff. Like they did show on for like Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2, like you actually get like the full draw distance for the map. So like that's actually really, really cool. So I'm kind of hoping they do that I'm kind of hoping we get that utility with Pokemon.
Did they say that the Switch 2 is going to be? It's a free update for Scarlet Violet.
Yeah.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, it's a free.
It's announced on. Free. Let me pull it up. Uno momento. Yeah, they did actually. Nintendo. There's a few games that get free updates at launch.
I am very excited.
Free update: Metroid 4 Prime, Scarlet Violet are free for sure.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom
are the ones that are free. The ones that are free, like they have a list on the Nintendo website. Yeah, the ones that are free are it's ARMS for some reason. I guess if you care about ARMS, it's there. And then there's also there's Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Super Mario Odyssey gets a free update, which I'm kind of curious about.
Okay.
Super Mario
just to run better, I'm sure. That's about it.
Super Mario 3D World, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. Okay. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Legends of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is free. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe gets an update for free. Game Builder Garage, a game that I'm sure a lot of people forgot about. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and then Big Brain Academy. They all get free updates for the Nintendo Switch 2. So
I think it's probably a combination of the graphical updates, but also maybe some of the game share.
Yeah, I think the game share based on
the game share for something like Big Brain Academy and Clubhouse. I'm like, those are probably just the game share, just like minor game share things. I don't think like anything, probably not this as crazy as what like Mario Jamboree is, with some of the stuff. But
yeah, you're right.
But I think it's just going to be the minor bit, I think, for those. Which makes sense. That makes sense to me.
No, they do get free updates though, which is really nice. I know. I think the three of us are like the three on the cast that actually got the pre-order. So,
I did. Did y'all get the pre-order?
I tried. I did not get it.
Oh, you didn't get it? Sad. Oh, I'm sorry.
I did not.
Shark. I tried really hard.
I was in the Target commit. I was committed to Target, and it kicked me. It literally
mistake.
It literally kicked it out of my cart.
It did the same thing for me with Target and Walmart, like the night prior, and then the next day I saw, GameStop is doing theirs at like 11. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm at work until like 4:00. What am I gonna do? I couldn't get out because I had meetings. So I remember at like 3:30, one of my friends and I at work, we called one of our local GameStops, like, oh yeah, we have 3 left, but it's just the console without the Mario bundle, and we're like, let's go. And we just left, and we happened to get the last 2 at like one specific GameStop. So we're like, all right, cool. Like we now are guaranteed at least that. But I'm like, part of me is like, but what if I get like the Nintendo offer and I can get the bundle? And I'm like, is that worth it for day one or not? Or do I care about having the extra like $30 to like download the game later? And
yeah, right. It was a mess getting those pre-orders. It was just awful, honestly. Like, I remember I went to Target and Walmart very early on. Walmart had like a queue system. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Because I actually got to the front of the line and like I had the quote unquote opportunity to purchase one, but the website kept crashing and wouldn't let me add it to the cart, even though like it was my turn. And then and so that was unfortunate. But what ended up happening was thankfully Best Buy like delayed by a half hour their launch.
Did they really?
Yeah, they delayed. So like they were supposed to launch at midnight, but they went at 12:30 instead. They pushed all their stuff to 12:30, and so because everybody had written off Best Buy as like not going live or something.
That's what I thought was happening.
Honestly, Best Buy's was like the best process out of all of them from what I could tell, because
I liked GameStops where you had to go in person. You couldn't do it
online.
No,
GameStops was great. Great. No, you could still order. You could have still gotten it online. It just got bought out real quick online at GameStop.
All right, well, then that was that.
Yeah. But Best Buy was great. Like I had my command center. I had like 4 monitors going with different. I was waiting in line, and then what ended up happening was people didn't notice, but Best Buy put up SKUs for like game packages. So what you would do is not only would you get like the console, but you'd also get a game as well. And so a lot of people weren't jumping into those because they had like one that was like the console plus physical Mario Kart. And then they had another one that was like the Mario Kart bundle with Donkey Kong.
That's a good
yeah.
one.
Yeah. And so I was in line for like all 4 variations I could find. And the one with Donkey Kong popped up and gave me the opportunity to do it. And the website didn't lag at all. It was done very well. So not sponsored, but kudos to Best Buy.
Yeah. Great.
for figuring it out. So it was definitely an adventure.
Next time for sure to go there.
Yeah, it was like the smoothest process. Granted, you had to wait in a line, and unfortunately, I couldn't like get another pre-order for my wife. But
That's what Nintendo is. The Nintendo website one is for.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that
other
was
thing
literally what I was gonna do myself. Was like, all right, if I could have gotten like the Target one because I have the red card, so that was the hope was to get that one because that would be the cheapest for me. It's like do that, and then if I got into the, if I got one, then if I got in the Nintendo one, I would check and see who in my family wants it, and I get it for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I might do that and see if anyone else wants another one. But I'm hoping for what's it called? The only thing I'm missing out on now is I really wanted like an extra the new Pro controller because I don't think the old one's going to be compatible.
No, it is. The old
All
one
the
is compatible.
controllers are compatible.
Yep.
Just the home button does not wake up your Switch too.
Yep.
Oh, I don't care. Then I don't care. Great. We're gonna use the old Pro.
It's very like a very minor inconvenience.
Yeah,
I think there's a graphic
the Joy-Con
we might have posted in Nintendo chat.
Yeah.
On the Discord that shows exactly the compatibility. But generally it's all the controllers work. They just don't wake up your Switch. You just saved me like $90.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
There
Now I
you
don't
go.
feel bad about
welcome
like,
to the PuCL podcast. We save probably just Clod a lot of money. So
a little bit.
Yeah, the only things you really need to buy accessory wise is if you need an extra dock AC. Like those won't transfer over right away.
Mm-hmm.
And the micro SDs, you can't use the regular ones. You have to use these special express.
Then you don't need that immediately.
No, you don't.
Thing.
You're right.
Like those
exactly. You don't need those right away.
On. And like I don't care about the camera. I don't care about the voice chat thing. We're gonna be on Discord anyways playing these games. Like it's not gonna like if you're doing stuff. So I'm not worried about that. And I'm like, all right, cool. All I know is day one, I'm going to grab the Switch, come back, download for Mario Kart, and go to sleep and wake up the next morning and play it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to cut us off there because we're a Pokemon podcast, but
sometimes
on weekends.
Sometimes most of the time.
Yeah. But with that, guys, that's been our intro. We're going to kick it on over to our news. We've got some stuff to talk about. So let's cue that epic music. Welcome to our news segment. It has news in it, I guess. There's actually things to talk about today, so we're going to dive into it. First of all, they've added medals to Pokemon Home for reasons, I guess.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
it's basically, I would consider it just like a check-in type of token that you can probably get when you go to like in-person things. But or like participate in certain things. It's like, you get a little like badge. It's just like a little badge thing, and you can like a pin, and you just. I imagine you can trade them. You can trade them. You can give them away. Etc. So
I imagine it'll be closer to like what they do with like collection challenges and Go, right? Where you get the collection challenge medal for participating.
Yeah, that's about right. But this one you can actually trade and share with people too.
Yeah. That's true.
That's the only extra interesting thing about it.
That's interesting. I like this actually. I'm a fan.
When you open up Home and you go look into it, you are given 3 medals of a specific region starters of between Gen 1 Gen 9. So I got 3 Hoenn badges or
that's
medals.
A good one. At least it wasn't Gen 5.
There's incentive for me to trade those away because
Yeah, at least it wasn't
I don't
Gen
need
5.
3 Hoenn. Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. All right. Well, moving on. Pokemon Unite has a balance adjustment, I guess, coming up. And yeah, Dragapult's going to be balanced. Dragonite's going to be balanced. Venusaur, Galarian Rapidash. Everybody's getting balanced. Of course, the Alolan Raichu is going to get balanced because it was probably too good because it just came out.
Yeah, of course.
Or it was really bad. One of the two. I haven't played in a while.
And if it just came out, it was probably too good, and they decided to make it worse.
That's always how it seems to go.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that like 90% of the time, the new Pokemon was too good, and they had to make it better, make it worse.
Because they have to make it good to make you want to buy it.
Yeah. In the most exciting news, they have finally announced the Alolan Sitting Cuties coming soon.
Yes.
It includes all of the Alolan forms, so my Alolan Sandshrew is coming. I'm super excited, and this is a very exciting drop. I love that all of the Sitting Cuties, just that train just has not stopped in like the past 5 years. Like I really, really like it
honestly,
because it's
really
the best
good.
thing. Yeah. Well, I love it that there's going to be
sized,
and there's like it's like perfect because you can actually collect them for yourself. Like if you have a favorite, it's always there.
I might grab the Sitting Cutie of Tapo Coco.
I might.
And honestly, all of them look really good.
They always look good. They always look good.
Yep.
Are they gonna have all of the Minior? I don't know if they'll have all the Minior though.
They're only showing.
I've only seen the pink one.
Pink.
Yeah.
The shell version and then the pink. They're not showing any other cores.
I think the shell ones are all like different colors. You just have to open them to find out.
I think it's also worth
that
noticing.
Would be funny if they could, but
there's
two Mimikyu and two Marshadow for the
different
because
forms.
you have the snapped head Mimikyu and then you have the attacking Zenith Marshadow. So you get both of those.
Oh, cool.
I think it's also worth noting that Meltan and Melmetal are not available in this drop.
Well, it's considered a Gen 8 Mon with an asterisk.
Yeah, it's like a big asterisk.
I imagine it's going to be stuck there. Because, I mean, to be fair, I even was looking at, the last week's topic of Gen 8 Pokemon. Despite the fact that Go considers it still unknown region or whatnot, it was in the kind of Galar poll for back in like 2020 of like top Pokemon. It was Melmetal and Meltan were considered with all the other Gen 8 Pokemon at that time. So
yeah, they just clearly don't know what to do with it. Like that's kind of how they just don't know what to do with it. I don't blame them either. I don't know what to do with it either. So all right. Well, I think I get one more thing, and that's that for better or for worse, there are life-size Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon coming to Pokemon Center. I have a lot of mixed feelings because I always like the life-size plushes. I think they're really cool and it's really interesting to get. But subject matter. I don't know how to feel about this. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh no, the internet's gonna do terrible things.
If you like the evolutions normally, they're pretty cool looking. I mean,
I agree. I agree. I think they're neat. I love the life-size plushes. Like the life-size plushes are really cool.
They're going to be some point I will buy coming
one.
out, but they have the first three, the big Kanto 3 first.
I kind of want to pull a shark and just win mine. Although I'm upset I didn't get the Furret, and like now like part of me is like, if I see it out there again, do I do it? And then part of me is like, would I ever use it? No, but would it be great to have?
Yes. You want
exactly yes. It's just basically how it is. My spiel is just chilling back here. Like it's just here whenever I need it. It may not be every day, but he's here. He's a cute boy.
Sometimes you just need a hug from a giant spiel, and that's that.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're on to the next thing, Clod. Right?
Yep. That's me. Scarlet and Violet news. The final grand challenge of the season is next weekend. Sign-ups open up on Thursday night. This is for VGC.
This is VGC.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's the last chance to get points before, at least from online events.
NAIC. Before Worlds is the last online event.
Yeah, a last online event. And then Thursday nights also begins the Regulation 1 GS Cup.
Mm-hmm.
What is that for? Is that for battles, not singles? Or just ranked battles?
That's let me double check what you're saying here.
I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it does begin. I don't know why I didn't have this one opened, but yes. So
It's just ranked, I think.
it's just Regulation I starts on May 1st.
Oh, it's
just
I, not 1. Yeah.
Regulation I starts, yeah.
But what's GS Cup?
That is GS Cup. That is where you're allowed 2 legendary Pokemon from the restricted list to be on your team.
Okay.
It's called GS Cup.
Yeah.
It's because it's GS Cup because the first time we had a format like this was in Heart Gold Soul Silver. So they called it GS Cup. It's just known as GS Cup. We've been doing this podcast for so long that I just understand all of these things, and I do forget that that Heart Gold Soul Silver came out 15 years ago. So there are children probably listening to this show that weren't alive when this happened. Regulation is called GS Cup because Heart Gold Soul Silver was the first VGC game, because VGC didn't really take off until Gen 4, and in the current way that VGC is run. And that was the first time they allowed 2 legendaries per team was in Heart Gold Soul Silver. That's how they did it. It was, and then they've just kind of had the same like 3-year cycle ever since. I think that might change now with Pokemon Champions though.
Yeah, we'll see with Champions. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're on to you, Shark.
Yep.
All right. In Go News. From May 2nd to May 7th will be the Growing Up event, which will feature a lot of the kind of smaller little Pokemon that need a lot of candy to grow up and evolve, which are Swablu, Magikarp, and Wimpod being boosted shinies. You can also get it increased chance of getting the XXL or XXS. Small, super small, super big sizes, if that matters to you. Big special note is that Toxel will be, and Mime Jr. will be in eggs, which is good, as well as Rookidee being an event spawn for the first time, like outside of the egg stuff. It's slowly coming out in the wild, so we're starting to get more and more Rookidees, because before it was one of those egg only things, which suck. But yeah. Speaking of also regional stuff, Mega Kangaskhan is going to be coming into raids for a raid event on Saturday the 3rd. So if you're not in Australia, this is your good chance to go ahead and get it. So
all right, well, move on to the TCG then, Shark.
Yeah, and last but not least, in the kind of the mobile part, Celestial Guardians is the new TCG Pocket set coming out on the 30th, which is Alola themed.
That's this week.
But that's not the biggest thing about it.
What's the biggest thing about it?
Well, they're bringing in rare candy.
Yeah, I did see that. Rare candy is here.
And it's like that's TCG rare candy, which is what's incredible.
It's literally actual rare candy.
Biggest meta thing for sure.
That's like actually the actual TCG rare candy reading. Choose one of your basic Pokemon and play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card onto the basic Pokemon and evolve it. Skipping the stage 1. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. I like this. I'm glad this is here.
Yeah, there's some things that we've already identified as being, interesting to see. Well, first of all, it does enhance the 2 box arts for this set being Solgaleo and Lunala EX.
Yep.
Because those are both 2 stagers. Of big note of Pokemon you can just go ham with, the Charizards. All Charizards, because Charizard is Charizard, and Charizard has to be more broken.
And here I am thinking Gardevoir to easily now boost up any of your psychic types to get energy faster.
Yep, you get, Yep, you have that. Meowscarada, Beedrill, EX, Infernape EX, Gallade are kind of low attackers you can get on early. Rampardos, I think, also technically works with this, though it's still I don't know how it works with the trainer card.
With the fossil, it works. With fossils, it works. It works in like the regular TCG, it works.
It does work, but
Yeah.
you would still have to wait a turn, right? You play the
Yeah,
fossil
you still have to
down
wait
and
a
then
turn. You still have to,
okay.
yeah, you still have to wait a
Okay.
turn.
Yeah, I don't think it's as broken as what this tier list I have posted on Discord, but yeah. But Greninjas, Crobats, and just any of the
this
other
is
big
huge.
EXs are probably going to be good.
Yeah.
So
I like this because Pokemon TCG Pocket has been a very good way to get people into the actual cards. Probably too good based on the fact I can't buy Journey Together in stores anywhere right now. And but I like it, especially if you're bringing like this is the first time I think they've brought in a card that is like a 1-for-1 with something that's already available outside of TCG Pocket, which is Rare Candy. So I think this is pretty big. Like that's pretty big, like for the from a community standpoint, community standpoint.
yeah, because they keep giving us like they've got Boss's Order number 3 variant and Lana now, which is just Boss's Order if you have an Araquanid.
Yeah,
which is like, okay,
I think
cool.
I think in TCG Pocket, because of the way the game is structured, you're never going to see like an actual boss.
I don't think so.
I think actual gusting would be too powerful.
I agree. I'm fine with like, okay, you got Sabrina, which is you're free to do whatever.
Yeah.
Cyrus's damage, and now Lana, you got, if you have an Araquanid, boom.
Exactly.
There's a couple interesting trainers in this as well.
Yeah.
And they also showed off Alola Raichu EX.
Mm-hmm.
And a beautiful Alola and Marowak art.
Yeah. Well, if you want it, go get it. The last thing we'd like to note is that because April 30th is coming up, it is going to be the end of PUCL Badge Bonanza for this month, and we're going to be starting a new one in May. And the new one in May is going to be a lot of fun. It is a Pokemon X and Y Nuzlocke. I don't know the exact milestones right now off the top of my head. But I believe I
don't know that they are either. I would imagine.
I don't know that
probably
any of us know.
No, I don't think we do.
I would say the minimum bar is getting at least 2 badges.
Something like that, yeah.
Because the game is really long up to get to 2 badges. So
it is.
I think it might be 4. Might be silver.
4. It might be 4. Might be silver. It could be.
I can see 4 being silver because that feels like halfway is getting through Ramos.
Yeah. I will probably not be participating. I don't know who he's talking about. And I think that I will not be participating since I just did it all on stream. But
you should just get an honorary badge for completing it. So.
I should. I did it on stream over 5 months.
Yeah.
But this week we're going to be streaming again, and I'll probably dive into like a new game, a Nuzlocke. I haven't decided what, but if you want to help decide, you can either come to the stream at twitch.tv or the YouTube channel, and on Wednesday at 7:30, and you can help me decide. Or be in the Discord server.
If I want to stream my Nuzlocke run of it, because you just did one on stream, so I might do this one on
it'll
stream.
be different. It'll be different if you do it compared to when I did it, right? We just
I don't like the DS. I don't like playing on the DS. It's slow.
It is a little bit. But yeah, I need to sit down and decide. Well, I'm gonna get a couple options about what I feel. What I'm feeling like. Should we do something like this? A column A, a little bit of column B, and we all figure out what we want to do together. But with that, that is the new segment. We've got some Poke Quiz to do, so we're going to go over to that and quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to the Poke Quiz. We've got questions lined up for you guys today, but reminder, if you would like to try to stump the co-host, all of our question submissions are over at pucldiscord.com. There's a channel for trivia submissions. Go ahead, give us your questions. We'd love to hear from you, and I would love for you guys to stump the co-host just like everybody who got on today. But with that said, let's jump into our first question. As always, It is a general trivia question where we ask you guys just general Pokemon trivia. So this question is going to come to you from That Steve Kid. I actually really like this question. Among all final stage pseudo legendary Pokemon, which base stat is never below 100?
Wait, between all
Pseudo legendary Pokemon.
pseudo
Interesting.
legends.
What base
So,
stat?
base
And the
stat.
final stage, what base stat is never below 100?
Well, first of all, it is not speed because Gudra is slow boy.
So is Metagross.
Wait. So it's never below 100.
No
between all of
pseudo
them?
legendary Pokemon has at the final stage has this stat below 100.
Yep. So, for example, Gudra
Yeah.
has below 100 speed, so it's not speed. So what
Mhm.
else? So
Is it? Oh, Dragonite has 80 base speed, so it can't be that. Is it attack? Or what's Gudra's
Trying to-
attack?
Yeah, let's start. Gudra's a really good one to play off of. I'm trying to think about its attack. Its attack, it might be less. Its attack and defense is the ones I have a pin on. I don't think they are, but it's like I'm trying to think because
So
you have
let's go through the stats then to like go down the list then because like,
you know Garchomp's stats by heart. Trying to think about its special attack.
Salamence. I think Salamence has base 100 special attack.
Yeah, Salamence is 100. I'm trying to think if Garchomp has less. Garchomp, I think, has less.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter as long as one of them has.
Yeah. One under.
Salamence, I'm pretty sure has like 100, meaning or over 100. So that takes out special attack. I think Metagross is over 100 defense. But I know because I know for a fact Tyranitar doesn't have 100 special attack.
You're thinking
so
the
it's not
reverse
special
way.
attack.
We're trying to
You're
find
trying
the
to
one
find out
that
what-
all of them have over.
Yeah.
They all have over. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
over
So it
100?
can't-
So
Yes.
just based off of like Salamence, which I have in my head, it has under 100 HP, over 100 attack, under 100 defense, over 100 special attack, under 100 special defense, and I think 100 base speed. So if it's all
Okay.
of them have to have over, then it's either attack, special attack, or speed. We know it's not speed. Tyranitar definitely doesn't have 100 special attack, so then it has to be attack, doesn't it?
But I don't think Gudra. But I don't.
I think Gudra has base 100 attack.
So let's think.
That's the only one that would work then, because like, if we
I
list the
thought I
pseudos
almost
each-
was kind of leaning because it's either attack or HP in my head because I think its defense is.
Gudra doesn't have 100
Special-
HP.
Gudra doesn't have 100 HP.
No, it's not.
Really?
No, it's his defense stats.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, there we
'Cause
go. Then it
I think it has
must
to be attack then.
I think it might have to be attack because that was the one that's like my initial thought was all like attack because all of them. Hydreigon. Just want to make sure that
Oh,
Hydreigon.
gosh.
That's the
I'm
only
I'm
other
gonna
one.
need
I
an-
can
it has
think
I'm
of.
gonna need an
100.
answer
I think it has
here, guys.
105.
I'm gonna need an answer here.
And
I would
That's,
just go with
uh,
attack and let's call it.
attack. Yeah.
Attack is correct. That is the answer. They all have over 100 attack, or at least 100 attack.
Mhm.
All
100
right, you're
plus.
1 for 1. Your next question is another general trivia question. This one is from Just Ben. This is a Pokemon question. I've read it. I read it today when I was preparing trivia, and I go, this is exactly a question for Shark and Clod. Because
Perfect.
no, because you were the only two that would be able to answer this like in a very reasonable amount of time. There is one catchable Pokemon in Pokemon Coliseum that is 100% female. What Pokemon is
Oh.
it?
Jesus.
Isn't it is Miltank?
Ooh. Huh?
Isn't it Miltank?
Coliseum?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. I'm trying to think. Is
Oh,
Miltank?
was it just wait? Or is Coliseum?
Coliseum.
Pokemon Coliseum, not
trying to think
XD, not XD Gale
Yeah, I know.
Darkness, just
Yeah, I know.
Coliseum.
No,
That's why
exactly.
I'm like, see, I had to pause on that one because that one I don't remember off the top of my head if that one was, because I think Coliseum was more, well, Coliseum was it was a hybrid of both. It was definitely balanced between Hoenn and Johto's, but I don't remember Miltank. Because where do you get Miltank?
Miltank, I believe. No. Miltank,
where,
I'm
when?
almost positive, is in the Realm Tower in Coliseum, because you get it from there's like a random person that has it. It's on your way up after you. It's like the first thing you do after you beat Gonzap. I'm like running through the game in my head now. I'm like 90% sure it's Miltank.
Oh wow!
Like I have these games like locked in memory. I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure it's because you. Yes, you just.
I was trying to think. 'Cause the only other early Pokemon are female. I'm like Jinx. I don't remember if Jinx is in Coliseum. Off the top of my head, I don't think
It's
so.
not.
Because that's the only. And
I'm like 90% sure it's
maybe
Miltank.
Chansey, Blissey, but I don't think those were either. So I
no.
really feel, yeah, I think you're right. I think it has to be Miltank. I think that's I'm trying to think what other only females. Not the Niddos.
Nope, Niddos.
I need an answer here, guys. I need an
Miltank.
answer.
Yeah.
Let's lock in this Miltank.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sure.
I think
Let's
that's
go
it.
for it. Yeah,
Miltank.
no, I trust.
Miltank is correct. That's the answer. You guys are overthinking it. There's only gens 1 through 3, and Coliseum was all about getting you to all the Johto Pokemon that we're missing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
yeah,
I
so
wasn't.
it is
I was
Miltank.
like,
you guys are 2 for 2. You're 2 for
I
2.
can picture the fight of the Shadow Miltank in my head right now, and I'm like, okay. I can tell you what the NPC looks like that has it now, and I'm like, okay, there we go.
All right. Well, your next question is your Pokedex entry. As always, I will give you one entry. You can give me an answer, and then we'll give you a second entry, and you can choose to change your answer or not. Up to you. If you get it right with the first answer, you get 2 points. If you change it, you do get 1. If you're correct, at least. If you don't get it right, you get 0, obviously. So let's jump in. Our first question is our first entry, and all of the entries are gonna come from Dirk Hardpeck. And this first entry is from Pokemon Sun. When angered, it loses all sense of itself and destroys everything around it. The destruction will continue until it has tired itself out. Who's that Pokemon?
This sounds like Darmanitan to me.
That could be.
Anyone else? I don't even know if Darmanitan's in Sun.
That's because definitely don't think it's in base. I think if it's anything, it's an import. Because otherwise, yeah, because the only place it would be is probably the desert stuff, and it's not there. So off the top of my head, don't think so.
Yeah, I'm
But
probably
what other-
the angry Pokemon.
I kind of was thinking like a Beware, but I don't know if that's
Oh,
quite right either. I think Beware is more about hugging and crushing things.
I think it's definitely
But-
about the hug and the crush. I don't know what else gets
Um,
angry. Does Crabominable get angry?
Could be Crabominable, but I don't feel like it's like
It doesn't fit the vibe.
it doesn't fit the vibe. I think it would be describing more about its being an ice type
Fair.
or coconut crab type things. I'm kind of.
I don't
It
think
might be just
Darmanitan's-
Crocodile. It could be
You think Crocodile?
Crocodile.
Okay. Oh,
We
they get
lock it-
anger point. That makes sense.
Are we
That makes
locking in
sense. Let's do
Crocodile
Crocodile.
before the next entry?
I think so.
Let's do
Yeah.
that one. I feel that
Oh.
because that one I know is
All
for
right.
sure.
So
in
keep Crocodile in
Sun.
your pocket. We're gonna get you that second entry. That second entry is from Pokemon Scarlet. And it says, it
Okay.
flies around on its wings, which have grown in at last. In its happiness, it gushes hot flames, burning up everything it passes over.
Okay, so it's not Crocodile.
Nope.
I don't.
Are you sure? You guys don't want to stick with that one?
Flying crocodile.
Flying? It grew
Flying
wings.
cricket.
What didn't have wings that grew wings?
I don't know.
Flygon?
Menace to society.
Flygon.
But it's not like
Burns.
fire though, so it feels like it has to be like.
It still could be. It's
Gosh.
so.
It's a menace to society, and it flies around, gushing hot flames. It
Talon flame?
with
That
the
doesn't
wings
make
that
sense.
it finally grew.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I am. Fire wings Moltres.
If you guys don't get it, I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
Oh gosh, this is not good. How am I blanking on this one?
Wait. He said
Wait.
jump off a cliff. That's Salamence. Because
Oh, Mence. Oh gosh.
it's Mence. It's Mence. It's Salamence.
Yep.
Locking it in.
All right. Salamence is correct. Salamence is the
Does
the
Salamence
correct
get
answer.
anger point?
No,
by chance?
No,
I
it's
don't
just
think so.
angry.
It's just angry.
It's just angry.
He's just an angry guy.
Just an angry boy. All right, fair enough.
All right, you're 3 for
Mhm.
3. Your next question is your multiple answer question. There are 8 answers to this question. You can get up to 3 points here. The way we're going to structure it is if you give me 3, that's 1 point. If you give me 6, that's 2 points. If you give me all 8, that's all 3.
Nice.
I think you'll actually be able to figure this one out, maybe. You do have to
Yes.
lock in every answer with me, though granted, you'll be able to know if you're incorrect based on the question. So I am also going to put like a 2-minute time limit on this as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This question is from Lost in Thought. In honor of the Crown Clash event in Pokemon Go, what 8 Pokemon have the letters K-I-N-G, as in king, in their English names? 2 minutes on the clock.
Slacking.
All right.
Sla-
So
Slacking lock in.
Slacking lock in. Yes. All right. I
Slacking,
have
yep.
some in my head. You have King
Kingler,
Gambit.
lock it in.
Oh, Kingler.
What?
Yep. That was
Kingler, that's 2. Yeah.
Kingler.
King Gambit is
Gambit.
3.
King Gambit is 3.
Kingdra is 4.
Kingdra is 4.
Nidoking is
Nidoking is-
5.
Nidoking is 5. There are more than 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are
Slow
3
King
more.
is 6.
Slow King is 6. One of them you're missing.
King is 7.
Yes.
Huh?
The last. Yeah. Sea King is 7.
Oh, Seeking.
Yep. So you're just missing 1. You're not going to think of it probably pretty easily, but yeah.
King.
The name may come to you on the wind.
It'll be clear. It is King in that order. It's either King
yes,
something
it has
or-
to be. It has to be K-I-N-G in that order. Yes.
Okay.
In
Yes,
the name.
cover.
Yeah. It. Yeah.
King Gambit, King.
It's right there.
It's right there. Right there at the end. Right there. At the end of the question. At the end of time. At the end of everything.
You're like giving little clues, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like missing it in my head, and I'm
it's
like, gosh,
walking right in
gosh.
front of your face.
You said walking around, it's like for it. But I know
You
it's
do
not
have
for it.
you do have 15 seconds before I cut you guys off.
Oh no.
Cling, clang.
Unfortunately,
Clang,
you guys are
clang,
out of
clang,
time.
clang.
You guys
No.
did get 7. The one you were missing was Walking Wake.
Oh, jeez,
Walking
Louise.
Wake. Oh my gosh.
Nidoking, Kingler, Seeking, Slow King, Kingdra, Slaking, King Gambit, and Walking Wake are your answers. Yeah. You missed
Wow.
the Walking Wake. But yeah, you got 2 points for that. So you're 5 for 4. Your last question is your base stat question as always. You do have the hint. You can always cash it in still at this point though. So let me get you that question. It is from Gigasaurus Games. And we're back to basics this week. What Pokemon has the highest base attack of all Pokemon?
What? Like,
Are we including
highest-
or not including Eternamax?
We're not including Eternamax. It's not a real Pokemon. You can't catch it and battle with it.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. It just
Anybody,
we just said the
anytime
highest-
anybody puts that Pokemon in any kind of list, it is wrong because you can't catch it. Okay, you can't catch Eternamax. Okay, you can't catch it. Okay, everybody needs to stop.
is it not just Mega Mewtwo X with 190?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't. I think I'm trying to think because the Deoxys attack is 180, right?
Yeah,
that's 180.
Yeah.
And nothing else I could think of that is stronger. Let's try. Nothing has 200 attack yet.
No.
Yet.
Because I'm thinking like the other one that comes to my mind is like I know Mega Heracross is a really high one.
Yeah, Mega
And-
Heracross is a high.
Like if I think of all the megas, it's like you have Mega Mewtwo X, Mega Heracross, Mega Rayquaza I think is also 180. Mega Garchomp's like 170. Nothing else will get that high. And the only other Pokemon I can think of that hit close to that are the Deoxys attack.
Deoxys attack, Kartana.
I think it's
is a
180.
frail
It's
one.
not 190.
Yeah.
So what are you guys going with?
Yeah,
I think it's Mega Mewtwo
and
X.
Ultra Necrozma I don't think is there. So yeah, no, I think I'm good.
We're going Mega Mewtwo X. Mega Mewtwo X is the correct answer. Mega Mewtwo X has a base 190. Mega Heracross is not 190, it's 185. My apologies on screen. Kartana 181. And then
181.
Deoxys, Mega Rayquaza, and Primal Groudon are all tied for 5th place or 4th place with 180. So yeah, that is your quiz. That does change up our standings as it always does.
We didn't even use the hint, and we didn't technically get anything wrong. Look at us.
Yeah, I know. You guys got 7 points today for that. So 7? No, 6. You got 6 points today. No, 7. 7. No, the answer is 7. I'm gonna go ahead, add in those points. Oh man, we got a new first place person today. That is wild to me.
Ooh.
Is it
Yeah.
me?
I don't
did
know.
it.
You.
Is it? You think so?
I was 4 last week. I don't remember how much
Yeah.
I needed to pass.
Maybe Shark's ahead of you. You never know.
It could be.
How much
Could
do you
be.
pay attention? All
not
right,
much.
in first place we've got Clod 9 with 43 points. In second place we have R Sigma with 42 points. In third place we have a tie between Seth Vilo and Jushiro with 38 points. That's your top 4 right now that currently would be going to our championship rounds at the end of the year. But we still have like 6 more months to go before then, so keep listening. We also have in 5th place Sharkfinnagen with 32. In 6th place there's Sublime Manic with 30. In 7th Whimsicott with 28. Linian is in 8th with 16, and in 9th place we got Bocephus with 11. So with that is our current score. If you want more Poke Quiz, tune into us next week. We will give it to you. But until then, we're going to go talk about our topic. So let's go kick it on over to that. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is Pokemon. Where do we go from here? And that's mostly because one of the things that's really come up to me in the in like my thought process post Pokemon Day this past year, because we got Pokemon champions, and I think that really changes the paradigm for Pokemon in general. Is just the way that we're gonna play it is gonna be much different, right? And then we've got the Legends games where they're really experimenting. Like Pokemon Legends Arceus was an obvious experiment. And now Legends EA, we get real-time Pokemon battles. I just been thinking to myself, what does that mean for the future of the franchise, right? Like, are we at stasis? Like, we can just put our Pokemon in Pokemon Home, and then we can battle in Pokemon Champions, and we keep getting, the same formulaic Pokemon game every 3-4 years, right? With every new generation with a bunch of new Pokemon, or are we going to do something different? Is this like, did we set the groundwork so we can move away from that, or are we going to keep doing the same thing? And I know Pokemon is typically pretty good at surprising me. I think the only exception was, I don't know, I felt really bad because I predicted like a lot. I've predicted a lot of things correctly over the past couple of years. Like I didn't say flat out that I thought Pokemon like Legends EA would be the next Pokemon game, but I did know very early on that like there could be a potential for something to be Pokemon XY related to come out beforehand, and nobody was really talking about it. Everybody was on about a Hoenn, or not a Hoenn, but a Unova or Johto remake.
Yeah, we all kept was like, oh, we're expecting, the Unova spinoff. We were, because we got BDSP. We expect, well, what's next? We're gonna get that remake, or
and so I'm wondering what's gonna happen, because we have this, and like one of the things that like would be really wild to me, and I think this will excite you, Shark, just based on some of our conversations. But one of the things that I think is very possible in the future of Pokemon, I'm sure we'll still get mainline games, and I still wholeheartedly believe that Pokemon like Gen 10 will be traditional Pokemon turn-based game.
Yes.
But one of the things I think would be really cool with Pokemon Home now is that we get spin-offs, but where we interact with Pokemon in different ways. Like we don't just battle. We're not Pokemon trainers, which I would say that is the new definition of a mainline game, is you're a Pokemon trainer that battles with Pokemon. Like done.
Yep.
Okay. I would say a spin-off is a game in where you are not a Pokemon trainer and it's a Pokemon game, right? Like Pokemon Detective Pikachu, right? Is a spin-off game. You're not a Pokemon trainer, you're a Pokemon detective hanging out with Pikachu. But wouldn't it be wild that at the end, or maybe even during Pokemon Detective Pikachu, you could transfer Pokemon in and out of Detective Pikachu, right? Like you could move Detective Pikachu to Pokemon Home and then battle with Detective Pikachu in Pokemon Champions. I like, that's something that I've kind of like been thinking about in my mind. That would be really cool, because it kind of I really dream about the Gen 4 ecosystem of Pokemon games, because there were so many wildly cool things that would happen with the spin-off games and how they interacted with the main series that I believe a lot of people have forgotten about, because they weren't really big deals back then. But like Pokemon Ranger got you a lot of Pokemon, actually. There's a lot of event Pokemon from Pokemon Ranger, most notably like the Manaphy egg. Is a very obvious one, but you could also get like Darkrai and stuff like that through Pokemon Ranger.
So to go off that, and I think Pokemon doesn't want to put more Pokemon behind, like I say a paywall, but like another game.
I think disagree with you.
I think they want all of their Pokemon to be available within the main, like the 2 game or like whatever is around, plus the DLC.
Well, I guess if we use the definition that you're a Pokemon trainer, you catch Pokemon, that counts. Because like my biggest pushback to that would be Enamorus. Because Enamorus isn't in like a traditional Pokemon game. You can transfer it to Scarlet and Violet, right? But you couldn't catch an Enamorus outside of Pokemon Legends Arceus. I mean, we could probably even say the same thing to an extent. Like they try to do the same thing with Meltan and Melmetal that I'm kind of trying to explain. But I want to see it on a larger scale. Like I want to play Pokemon Snap and then like take really cool pictures of like the giant Meganium, but now I can move the giant Meganium to Pokemon Home, and now it can Mega Evolve into Mega Meganium.
So I think what they might do is take some of those rarer, harder to get Pokemon that you could still get like in those games, but make them more readily available in a spin-off game.
I think they could. I think there's some merit to be had there. It would also be interesting. I don't know how Pokemon moves are going to work when we get to Pokemon Champions, right? Like when you move a Pokemon from Pokemon Home to a Pokemon game now, we have like the move culling that occurs. And that way moves that were too powerful don't exist. I don't know if the same thing will happen to Pokemon Champions, because I don't know if you actually import Pokemon into Pokemon Champions or if you just like pull them kind of like from a box, right? Like you would do in Pokemon Stadium when you like connect to the transfer pack. I mean, a lot of this is a lot of questions though, but
I would like to believe that they're going to make it in a way that it is you connect home to champions and it has access to the Pokemon in home, or maybe you have a separate box in home that can connect and it has like, you know, insert this amount of Pokemon you can put into it that can be accessed. This way they're still available, but they're there and they're not like transferred over.
Yeah. Well, so just to go back for information, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. This is just more of an information dump. If for Pokemon Rangers Guardians or Shadows of Almia, there are so many Pokemon you could get from it. Actually, there's you can get a Deoxys through the game. You can get another Manaphy egg from this version of Pokemon Ranger. You can get a Heatran, a Shaman. You can, I think, this is just an event to go help out Arceus and Giratina in the game, but not actually catch them. But yeah, these are a bunch of Pokemon you can just like transfer in, which is insane. They are also like Wi-Fi events, but like we live in a post-internet era, so you can still make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just think it's super cool. And I hope that there's more of that. And I hope that they like really blossom into that and just kind of run with it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, with the fact that home being on mobile does give them some flexibility, you know, with some of their, you know, spin-off games and mobile games, if there are some potential tie-ins that, yes, you can potentially do something like that. That is a ways to try to do that. And obviously their mobile game market of theirs is still doing strong, and it's, you know, they keep pulling out other new games and whatnot, you know. Some do well, some do well elsewhere.
You can transfer really cool Magikarp for Magikarp Jump, the game that doesn't exist anymore, but like you could do that. Like, you know, I think that would be a really
Magikarps could be interesting. You know,
something like that I think is more doable, because like I missed my spiky-eared Pichu, but like little things like that where it's this is just another version of a Pokemon you can get.
No, I think something like that
almost. I think that's more likely than, you know, anything else. I don't know. I think there will be more of that.
I don't know that I agree that it's more likely or anything at this point, because the Pokemon franchise has just changed so much over like the past 20 years that things that I would have called rules 10 years ago in the patterns of how it operates, I just wouldn't even like think to like put those constraints on the Pokemon franchise. Like even 5 years ago, I would have said something like Pokemon Legends Arceus is insane. It won't happen. And I just find it very, I don't know. They're changing a lot, and I think in a very good way. And I think the ecosystem that they developed, and I've said this several times, I wish in 2019 when they dropped that bomb about Dexit, that like this roadmap was released, right?
That there was that
alongside
plan, and we got it eventually. It wasn't as you know,
Pokemon Champions Champions was like the last piece that I was missing for my like the big picture, right? So I'm really happy that we've gotten it. Obviously, and I talk about it all the time. There's that short on YouTube of me freaking out about it. It's happening, guys. It's happening. You know,
it's happening.
It's happening. Absolutely. No, but I just think stuff like that's really cool. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about where the franchise should go or where it is going. That was kind of like my brain space, and I wanted to get that out into the ether and into the world.
So I think there's two ways the franchise is going to expand. It's going to expand a little bit competitively, because that's part of their market. Is, you know, there's going to always be something for battling.
Oh yeah, and, I mean that's Champions now. That's Champions.
Yes, but like they've done a lot of competitive stuff. Where like if I think of the Scarlet Violet era, I'm pretty sure that's when Unite came out. Was during Scarlet Violet, right?
Yeah. Pokemon Unite came out. I don't know if it came out. It was either like right as Scarlet and Violet came out.
I have the page. Where'd the page? I had it.
Pokemon Unite dropped
ago.
on it dropped on July 21st, 2021. So actually it was like a whole year before Scarlet and Violet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So like they've pushed that, which is big competitive for their like national like world stuff. They did like
Pokemon Unite it feels a little bit like Pokken nowadays, except better, and people actually want to watch it and play it. So
yes. So like they've done a big push there into the like that like multi online battle game mode. And then they have, they have Go, they have TCG, they have the main game, which they've now updated. Like, oh, we're going to do Champions. That Champions is going to be the future. There is no question about that.
Absolutely. No, that's true. If anybody thinks otherwise, I think that they don't understand the point.
That's that. But
I think there's a 99.9% chance that Champions is the new VGC game when it comes out. Probably not immediately, but probably somewhere within like
I think it's just much easier and much safer to guarantee that they can be able to practically enforce clean a system that they can battle, and that the internet connectivity will be consistent throughout, because I don't know if y'all have seen how they do this.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Shark, but like the big thing that I think is really cool is they can this doesn't matter so much to the three of us, but it matters to some people, and that legitimate Pokemon can be used, because Pokemon Home has some of the most rigorous hack checking of any Pokemon game.
Yes, that's because it's a separate entity, and I think by them doing Pokemon Champions, they're gonna take some of that extra stuff they had to have in Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield out. Like, yes, there's still gonna be Wi-Fi battles and whatnot, but they're not gonna have to care about that nearly as much. Like, they can spend less time working on connectivity and all the Wi-Fi, all the events there, and instead just do all that with Champions.
Absolutely.
So it's going to allow for the game to be, I'm expecting a little more story-based, as far as like our new generations will be more story-based with, of course, battling.
I'm hoping, yeah.
And then when they go to the competitive aspect, there'll be a separate thing for that. So I think this is their way of putting competitive into one spot so they can focus on Pokemon and all the other parts of Pokemon. Because they just did a big thing with competitive, I think the next step is going to be more spin-off style, like adventure stuff that they can do.
That's what Shark was mentioning too as well.
Yeah,
when we were prepping for the topic.
I definitely, like, right now we're for sure getting Coliseum and XD on to Virtual Console. We're gonna get those. We're gonna actually get those. Which that's
I don't know if I have interest
a potential way for them.
I will be streaming a full 100% playthrough of that game, of both.
Unless they have connectivity to Pokemon Home in some way, like, I just don't know that I have interest. You know what I mean? Like, I want to play through those games. I hope they do, but I don't know. To be fair, they haven't done.
All the other Virtual Console games have connectivity to Home?
What other? Well, okay,
no.
So they haven't.
Right now, it's just Mystery Dungeon, which is not, and
so there's no. This would
Stadium,
be like,
which is not, and Stadium 2, which is not.
Really?
Oh, and TCG, which obviously would never have any.
But to be fair, like, Stadium you don't transfer anything out of to get into Pokemon Home. Like, there are Pokemon rewards, but you have to have a console to like trade them to. Then so that's something that one I'm not as worried about getting home connectivity, but Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, those are the modes that they're probably cutting out of those games are probably like the multiplayer modes, right? Because they do mention that they're going to be heavily impacted. Let me see if I can pull it up. There's a website for the Pokemon.
Because my thought is you have the whole Mount Battle system, and that would half the fun was bringing in other Pokemon to, play through with Mount Battle, because that's their only way to grind, and it's slow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. The problem is there's I gotta find it. There's like a huge like wall of text about those games coming out.
Yeah,
on
I'm curious
NSO.
about what this wall of text. I missed it.
same.
Yeah, there's like a huge wall of text that I remember when they were announced that they're coming. Oh, this is accident. I accidentally pulled up an article for Pokemon Coliseum from 2004. I'm gonna just pull it up just to
Whoopsie.
show it.
Just
I'm
as
gonna
good.
wait, it's literally the Nintendo like release date about Pokemon Coliseum. But no, there's actually like a lot of things that go along with this. I gotta find it. I have to find it because was reading it when it came out. They're just like, we're cutting out like a bunch of different stuff, which they're just like, the game is going to be altered from what it used to be. I gotta find it. Boop. They announced it alongside XD. With a few key differences, including the story, the games, as well as other GameCube titles, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there was something about the story or something being changed, and I don't know what, which is the big thing. I need to find this. Yeah. Send me the link so I can put it up on screen on the video
I don't
version.
think I have. I'm trying to see if I can find it. This doesn't look right. This is a forum post. That's useless.
But yeah, this is like
I want to believe you. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, no, it did exist. It did exist.
Also shared that
I don't want to get
player will be available. The game will be that.
I don't want to get too caught up on it or anything, but yeah, I the fact that they're coming out is it's not concerning to me.
Actually, hold on. It does.
I'm concerned with what they're changing.
Am I seeing this? Wait.
Send me the link.
Both Coliseum and Gale of Darkness focused around new Shadow Poke. Okay, that's just explain the game.
Yes. But yeah, it's actually, we don't need to get caught up on it. It's fine.
After purifying these shadow Pokemon, they receive a unique national ribbon as reward. And after being traded to Pokemon Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, this will allow them to be used in.
Wait, where'd you see this?
With the title of.
Wait,
I'm trying to see if that's really there. Like,
this is on a forum post, but it's like the first thing. I don't know where they announced it, but that's what they're saying. It's going to be similar fashion to how Pokemon Crystal's released for the Virtual Console.
I don't know if I believe
I'm
this.
not sold on that
That's
one. Yeah,
that was no, that was not on that was not on the press release, that for sure. There's got to be a Pokemon Coliseum press release for this.
H2 hold on, let me look that. Let's look
this
that
is
way.
I'm on like PokeOpinion news.
Like,
but I don't want to get. I don't want this to be like.
That's why I'm like, I was wanting the source from that. And I was
but
like,
let's move on. Let's move on a little bit while we're looking for this. So it's just not 10 minutes of us searching the internet for
because
a press release.
I'll say one of the things with when we're talking about Coliseum and whatnot, we have the shadow Pokemon that are very much right now started with this game, but have been kind of adopted by Pokemon Go. I'd be curious to see if they're going to do anything more with like shadow Pokemon or other types of that kind of Pokemon like that in future games. That's something that they could explore with, spin-offs or main series games. That's something that they can try to push towards.
No, I think there's just a lot they can do. I just want all Pokemon games to feel really integrated now because we can. And that's kind of what I want. And the way you do that is you move the Pokemon around, right? Like that's how you make the Pokemon games feel like one big universe. And I'd love to just have Detective Pikachu and he has like a special move in Foresight or something. I don't know. That he can use in competitive battles. But yeah, I think it's just a really cool, interesting. We're in an interesting place.
So I am seeing on insert other article based website. They're saying it's unlikely that it's going to happen.
I think so, but I don't know.
Although there's no way to know for sure.
Yeah, actually, let me go back.
Okay, that was useless information. I thought I misread the article.
No, most of those websites I don't like to listen to. I don't like to listen to because I
thought it was an actual thing. It was not.
Yeah. I don't like to listen to just like random websites unless they like quote a press release.
Correct. That's what I was
if you don't
looking
do that. Yeah, if you don't do it, it's very awkward. But yeah, they announced something. I did see something. There was like a wall of text about this somewhere. And I don't know where it was, but I don't want to get caught up on it.
I'm keep looking. I can't find that said wall of text. But
yeah, there.
Maybe
I remember
we'll
looking
if
for
we
something.
find out more, if you know more, share on the Discord and we
let us know. Discord, send us an email.
Yeah.
Email that we might have missed or something.
Write a YouTube comment.
I do think it's really interesting that those are like the first Pokemon games they're bringing back to like the virtual console arena.
Well, they're the only ones that were on GameCube, right?
They are, but but my problem is, not problem, but my point is like they're bringing those up for GameCube. Granted, them bringing a lot of those games from GameCube to NSO is a big deal, only because the GameCube hasn't had a virtual console type release ever. And so many of those games are expensive. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have them, and I got them both for like when they came out.
Yeah, Pokemon Coliseum and XD. I think. Let me look this up. I'm gonna pull up some like Pokemon.
I think they were $100 last I checked each.
Yeah, I think they're more than that. If I'm not mistaken. Let me.
I definitely have looked in the past. It was like
190 for Coliseum right now. It looks like.
Ooh,
Maybe somebody's got a box for 85. 130, 140
for Coliseum.
The bonus disc is going for like 270. Oh, the Coliseum, the bonus disc is like going for a lot. Wow. Okay.
Dang.
And crazy. XD I think is in the similar boat. They also showed like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, but which is
that's also another GameCube.
That's like a $300 game right now. That's like $300 game.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that they released on NSO and not like a remake, because then you can't, unless they like do like a Wii virtual console NSO. There's no way to like port over that data into like Radiant Dawn, but that's fine. This isn't a Fire Emblem podcast or a Pokemon podcast.
So here's the thing that I think they could do with all these, like with the GameCube and anything else like virtual console going forward, as we're talking about the future, is as you play some of those games, it saves to your Switch. And
it does.
Let's say they make an update for, Scarlet and Violet, or, any other game in the future. And it's basically, if we've seen that you've gotten to this save file from the virtual console, we're going to give you a free gift of, let's say Shadow Lugia in home or something like that, or on, your Switch. And I can see them making that the way to be able to port stuff, but instead of porting stuff over, it's you did this, great, here's your reward.
I do think they should. So in my opinion, what they should do is we should just get home compatibility. I hope they do that so that these games are done justice, because with Pokemon Bank leaving, right, we're gonna have kind of this gap, this hole that exists. Granted, all of the Pokemon are going to be available on Switch now. Great, you can complete a national dex on Switch, but you are going to have this hole of like you can play these games and have these experiences, but you can't bring those Pokemon up. And that's been kind of the magic of the Pokemon franchise, I would say, for the past forever, is the ability to bring those Pokemon up. Like the first big time that Pokemon really fell flat on its face in terms of the fandom not being able to do that was when Gen 3 happened, right? Because we got cut off from Gens 1 and 2, and it was kind of felt, and they did a lot to repair that by releasing Fire Red Leaf Green. They also released Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness as ways to do that. But granted, you don't need Coliseum and Gale of Darkness unless you unless you really like Fire Red and Leaf Green, you want to play it 3 times. And because that's how
silly legendary dogs.
Well, Gen 3 is like riddled with the history of Japan and its hate for rental video games. And fine, whatever. I just find it really, I don't know. They should do it so that we could, if we're talking about things that I would love them to do, and I think they should do, this isn't something of me like predicting like, oh man, here's how they're going to push the future forward. But what I think they really should do is they should release us, 30th anniversary is in February. I think they make an announcement probably later this year that Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and maybe even Gen 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch Online, and they have Pokemon Home compatibility. That way you can have those adventures, you can transfer those Pokemon in. Because they did something very similar on the 20th anniversary, but that's when Red and Blue and Yellow came to the Virtual Console on 3DS. I think it's a very easy win for them to do, especially after putting Pokemon Colosseum and Gale of Darkness on NSO. I think it's a very easy win, especially if Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness have home compatibility. I think it's almost certain that it's happening. And then what they do is eventually they go, okay, now here's Gen 3 on cartridge for those games. And then we've got up to Gen 4 on Switch now, right? Like Gens 1 through 4 are all on Switch, even including XD Gale of Darkness and everything, which is nuts. I find that really cool. I also, the third option that I just thought about is that XD Gale. So I say this all the time, and it exists in the code. I'm not insane. I swear to God, this exists in the code of the Nintendo Switch Online. Nobody has told me it doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure it does. I remember things happening when Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 were announced for Nintendo Switch Online.
And if it's wrong, please tell Thatch.
Please call me out in the comments, call me out in the emails, everything. Call me on Discord, everything, please. I want to know if my information is wrong. I need to know. That way my beliefs are shattered and I can form better and new, more correct opinions. But the thing that I remember at the time of those games coming out is that there's transfer pack functionality in the emulator for the Nintendo 64, and it was set up for Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2. I would be interested if there is a similar compatibility in the background of Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, where you can get the Shadow Pokemon out that way, and then those games are compatible with Pokemon Home. Right. And maybe it's just one of those things that they unlock after 5 years. Like I think they'll do with Pokemon Stadium.
Well, are Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 compatible with each other?
In what way? What do you mean?
Like, can you use Pokemon in Pokemon Stadium that you can send to Pokemon Stadium 2?
Nope.
It's
not in
not
the sense of you connect one. It's more that your game, whatever Pokemon are in Game Boy games, can be used in both.
Yeah, if
and it's not really like a transfer in and out. It's just the fact you have your Game Boy.
Yeah.
No, I meant like on the Switch Online.
What do you mean? No, Switch Online, you can't do anything. No. You can't do anything.
No, you can't even you can't import Pokemon. It's just what's base game without the Game Boy.
So it's a base game.
It's base game, so you can use rental Pokemon, but you're really just doing it to play the mini games, right? Like,
it's mini games and maybe like gym challenge and some other things, but you don't get to use your own Pokemon. So.
I really hope that they do come out with that solution so you can transfer pack in Pokemon to that, because Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2 are really just like, they're really, really good games. Especially like what's worse is like when you're a kid, you don't appreciate it as much, but like now that I'm older and I've been playing Pokemon for so long, I appreciate the idea of just like being able to grind like these really difficult tournaments. Because they are really difficult with my Gen 1 games and my Gen 2 games. I find that like really appealing, and I do plan to do it on stream. But I really want to do that. And I want them just to let me do it on NSO. Like, just let me do it.
Yeah, because it's so hard to do it's so hard to do those certain, like the Gym Castle Challenge. I did that for Pokemon Badge Bonanza. I did for Johto. I did it for that. It was so hard to try to do that with the same 6 Pokemon. If you had grinded them out, made your own, it would have been more fun to try to do that. But otherwise, you end up kind of like the best way to do it is you kind of just have to do certain teams for each of those gym leaders. You can, you can use guides to like optimize it a little bit. But I mean, in the end, it's like, oh, you use the water Pokemon against here, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't get to kind of like have one team optimize. I would love to try to do it one team optimized, but it would be very hard to do.
It's just experiences I really want to. Yeah, this has kind of gotten away from the idea of the discussion, but I think this is a good discussion nonetheless.
Yeah. I way to reel us back because I have some thoughts with.
Oh, go ahead.
The big thing with Pokemon franchise is they like to push technology, and you can see that over the years. They go with the system. You got with the 3DS, you get some of the 3D games with, you use some of the camera features, you use, the stylus, things like that. You start looking at those games. And one of the things that we do get with the Switch 2 is we get mouse.
Yeah.
We get the mouse version of the controls as well.
Interesting idea.
Okay.
So
I'm following.
So the one thing I'm thinking, which would be very funny to see because it's a little different, is we start to get back into the DS era of things and we get a Ranger remake.
Dude, that'd be sweet, actually.
Or Ranger spinoff.
I think that would be
something that could be done.
I'm for it. I'm for
I would
new ways
rather
to play.
see them do something brand new.
Yes.
But I'm not opposed to this.
You could definitely get a style of game that is very similar to Ranger, because there was some initial discussion when the mouse was like, oh, stylus 3DS. We could spin it and, spinning as fast as you can with the little stylus is a little different than spinning your mouse in that same fashion. So it'd be interesting to see how if that's an optimal way to not cause you carpal tunnel syndrome at our ripe old age of, we're not teenagers anymore when this game came out,
you're
the first
right.
time. So
you're right. No, I'm very, I think that's interesting. I do think, I think them going with Nintendo, that is going with the Switch 2, was an interesting and probably the correct move for them to have done as like their next console is like the Switch 2. That's what should have happened. I don't think we should have gotten like, oh man, here's a Wii, right? I think
it's a build upon what you have with a few extra little gimmicks and whatnot. I'm curious to see how Pokemon will do it. You can get drawing games again. Art Academy is actually something
that's a good
bring
idea.
back in a sense because you hit the mouse. That's something you could do.
They did some
there's you can do shooter type games. I'm curious how
we get
Pokemon shooter would be.
We'll get Pal World.
Well, I do think I hate to say it, but a Pokemon version of Animal Crossing I think would sell so well.
That's still the low hanging fruit of if Pokemon needs to make money fast, that's the Band-Aid you pull off. It's right there.
And it can be so different.
Heck, the Hello Kitty one is selling decently well, and it's similar but different than Animal Crossing, and Pokemon can do it too. It's so easy.
It's the same type of thing, but instead of battling, it's about gathering Pokemon. Maybe you keep the catching Pokemon, but you can only have so many that help you do different things.
I think it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting maybe to do Animal Crossing, but with characters that already exist in the Pokemon franchise. This is something that I think is a weak point when Pokemon tries to do its selling. Is the human characters that it has outside of just the Pokemon characters. You could do an Animal Crossing. This is definitely not the way it should be implemented, but the way I think about it is you could. It's Animal Crossing, but you swap all the animals for Cynthia and different gym leaders or notable NPCs, and I think that's very reasonable. And then you could move on from there, and you could. You guys collect Pokemon, and those Pokemon can help you do certain things, kind of like in Pokemon Legends Arceus, how there were a few of those quests where they're like, we need a Pokemon that knows Rock Smash to knock out this boulder. I think more of that. I think that is a very good introduction to that idea, right?
Or you make it kind of or you make it add a survival aspect to it as well, where you travel around and there are moments where you do have to fight and you do need to battle and level up, but there's also the moments where it's cool, I'm gonna go harvest a whole bunch of berries so that way I can build up my farm or whatnot.
Exactly. No, I think that's maybe it's more like Pokemon Harvest Moon.
Maybe that's the right way to go about with it.
Yeah, Pokemon Harvest Moon. For those of you who aren't farming people in video farming in your video games, but
Exactly.
Harvest Moon actually has a game coming out for Switch 2. I don't know if you guys noticed this. There's like a random Harvest Moon game
they just
out.
like kind of snuck that in. It's one of those things they just snuck in, and you're just like, oh hey, look at that.
I was like, whoa, Harvest Moon. Yeah,
it's Story of Seasons now, but yeah, it's still the same. It's Harvest Moon, just it's not in the name, but in actual people involved.
Actual Harvest Moon is coming out, which is
that
insane.
little. I will say that segment of the Switch 2 Direct, just to totally derail the conversation, that was one of the most insane things they did, because they just like it's like all like casually just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. What's his name? Silk Song, just 2 second tease, keep going. It's like, wait, what? I know people lost their freaking mind. Just Silk 2 just this year date.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like
that's what they say, but we'll see what happens.
Wait. Okay. We're very
that was crazy.
We're very off topic. I think that we're at the point where maybe we wrap up. But I think I'm excited for the whatever's next, right? And I just kind of hope they keep building on what they have. They did have to like tear some of it down, obviously. Like I called Dexit like a tear down. But they have built up this really cool thing, and I obviously Champions isn't here yet, and once Champion is here, we'll get a really good feel for what's going on. But overall, I'm very excited. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm very positive. I'm kind of hoping that we get some like crazy new things, where we can get Pokemon from some other wild games. I want Legends to expand to something even wilder, right? Like,
and I think we're in a good spot. Like, I think Pokemon is headed in a good direction, and I think that's right.
Yep.
I think we're fine.
I agree with this. I absolutely agree. We just need Pokemon cards to be available at Target. That's all. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. That is going to be it for the topic today. You guys can let us know your thoughts on what you think what kind of game Pokemon might come out with in the future. Let us know at puclpodcast@gmail.com. But we are going to go ahead and kick it on over to Puckle's PokeOpinion. So we're going to go do that. We will catch you all on the flip-flop. Welcome to Puckle's PokeOpinion, where we ask a question of our co-host and we sit around, we talk about it for like 10 minutes. This one, it was really inspired by you, Clod, in one of the better moments of last week's episode.
Okay.
And yes, exactly. And I feel like you should know what this question is. I hope you have a good answer for it because it is your question.
Of course. Absolutely.
But I wanted to ask you guys, because this segment's meant to be a little silly sometimes. What Pokemon would order a cheeseburger at a fast food restaurant?
All right, so you have to think many of your dinos and or dragons I can greatly see doing something like this. Like, or you can go the cop-out answer and say Machamp. Can you not see Machamp walking into a Wendy's asking for 4 Baconators and like walking out one in each hand, just chowing down on them? Yeah. Like,
that's a lot of calories.
Easy answer.
That's a lot. You think?
No, I have a better answer.
How many calories? How many calories are in a Baconator? We're gonna find this out. I'm gonna pull this up, but keep going, Shark.
Okay.
I think Scrafty is the one that screams.
Oh, Scrafty,
I'm gonna go. That's the one that I ultimately think would go to a Jack in the Box late at night to grab a burger.
Scrafty's going to Taco Bell. Okay,
that's true too.
Scrafty probably lives out of the fast food. He doesn't cook. He's going to somewhere different every night depending on what he craves, and that's it.
4 Baconators would probably kill a Machamp, or it would kill a human being if that happened on a regular. 960 calories per Baconator?
That's easy work.
That's 4,000 calories, Clod. He's not Michael Phelps.
Down like 20, 30,000 in a day. This is nothing.
Wait, who eats 20, 30,000 calories in a day?
Have you not seen competitive eaters?
Yeah, that's terrifying, Clod.
Oh, anybody that works out a lot. Like, they have to, like, any professional athlete has to do like 10, 20,000 calories a day to keep on, like,
Michael Phelps did 5,000 a day when he was training, when he was swimming. You are speaking insane numbers of calories that they just are not feasible.
That's fine. And I think you don't know what you're talking about, and that's okay.
But
I will say, I do.
Bodybuilders do eat a lot of calories. You got to consider bodybuilders eat a lot of calories. So yes, they do get to go when they go like hard bulking, hard heavy exercisers. Yes, they do eat a lot. They do. They eat like players and such. They can eat a lot.
Especially if they're bulking.
More.
They eat up to 8,000 calories a day, but it's typically more in the range of 3,000 to 4,000.
I can pull up probably 10 to 20 different YouTube videos of someone sitting there and downing 4 Baconators in no time flat.
That doesn't mean it's healthy.
That's all they're going to eat that day.
We never said it was healthy, but you asked who would eat a burger.
That's true.
And
I
can see Machamp, who if he's out there all day punching and it's 4 arms, so it's twice as many. To be fair, he's
doing 1,000 punches in a second. So,
that's a lot of calories.
Wait, how many calories do you burn with a punch? We got to figure this out now. Burned with a punch. Like that's important. That's information for us to have here. Boxing, if you're just boxing, you burn after an hour of boxing at an okay rate. That's 394 calories, 400 calories. But he's doing 1,000 in a second. A
20-minute boxing session on a heavy bag can burn up to 1,000 calories.
I think that's big boxing trying to get you to go to Title Gym.
Probably.
Trying to get you to go to Title Gym.
And if he can do 1,000 in a minute,
he needs those. It's 1,000 in a second. It's 1,000 punches in a second.
Those cheeseburgers.
I will give it to you. I will give it to you.
Now the real question becomes is who would get a cheeseburger that we wouldn't expect to get a cheeseburger? Now, am I expecting Nidoqueen to walk in there and get a cheeseburger? No. Nidoking would do that and then bring it home to her because that's, what would happen.
Yes.
But you have to think of what other crazy things would happen. I can see Fuecoco walking in and just taking and getting whatever.
Fuecoco, hands down, getting a burger.
Coco for alligator, both of them gonna eat. They would just they're just gonna walk in and eat cheeseburgers and leave.
Yeah,
they're not gonna pay. They're just gonna walk in and just
say, Coco's gonna sing his song,
and you're just be like,
he'll sing his song.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I can 100% see Victory Bell walking in there, opening its mouth, them pouring it in, and him hobbling on out.
Yeah.
The real question is,
Ganon's gonna come in and sneak a cheeseburger.
See,
what about Lucario?
I think so. Mario. Yeah, I think he gets down on a cheeseburger, once a week or once a month. I 100% see that.
Or Crocodile. Who would be surprising?
I don't know that anybody be surprising.
Toad.
The fun part would be
Toad would be mildly surprising that I wouldn't think at first glance, but I look at it and I'm like, yeah, Palpitoad. Palpitoad might get a Happy Meal at the very least.
Is Miltank eating a hamburger?
I think it depends on the day.
It might eat a bean burger. It might be the black bean burger. One of the
vegan burgers. Bean burger. Yeah, a black bean burger.
It might go vegan burger.
Yeah, I could see that.
Burger King sells some of those now and again.
Yeah,
they have their.
They always do that. They have Burger King does that. Burger King always does that. Burger King has that. I think their whole thing is we have the Impossible Burger, but who? Okay, side conversation. Side conversation. Who goes to Burger King anymore?
That's a great
question.
There's
not one in my city. No, there's one nearby, but not in my city now. There used to be one, but it turned into a.
I don't know the last time I went.
Do you not picture Ekans slurping down a Baja Blast?
Okay, that's Taco Bell. We're on Taco Bell now. They don't serve burgers at Taco Bell.
Not yet, but they just started serving chicken nuggets. So what's next?
They did start serving chicken nuggets. They
burgers.
Did start serving chicken nuggets. They do burgers. You're not gonna lie. You are correct about the chicken nuggets, though.
Darumaka is definitely eating a Mighty Kids meal.
Are they still called Mighty Kids meals?
No, I think they're just Happy Meals again. But
I think they got rid of Mighty Kids meals.
Whatever the big, they're gonna eat the kids meals.
I can see Toucanon going in there and getting
Oh yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I said that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Toucanon's absolutely steal it. Toucan's
Man.
stealing something. He's getting something.
This is a segment that needs graphics now, where we just like ask a question like this about Pokemon and we just drag it to the yes or no column. We need that. That's what the future of this this segment is.
Yeah.
If you made it this far in the video, send in your questions that you want our opinion on.
Yeah, we
Pokemon
actually,
world.
I need to put it, we are opening a channel on the Discord. By the time this show airs, there's a channel on the Discord for PokeOpinion. So yeah, you can submit your own Poke opinions and we'll choose from the best ones.
Or tell us who you think you'd be surprised if, you walked into a McDonald's and that Pokemon was sitting there next to you chowing down.
Right.
Let us know. These are the important questions that we need to start asking ourselves.
These are the questions that
Is a
require
Porygon
answers.
Z gonna eat one?
No.
Does Porygon Z have a mouth?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I imagine Porygon, it has a mouth in spirit, but original Porygon is just like computer graphics, right? And so like it chows down like a you don't see it eat. It's like a Cookie Monster-esque eating, right? Or you don't actually see it swallowing or actually eating the food. The food disappears while it makes the chomp noises, like Minecraft.
So this is my final hot take on this cheeseburger hamburger thing.
This is a hot take.
I think base form Zygarde does not, but both dog form and 10% and 100% do.
You know what? I agree with that. I get that vibe.
I agree. That's a pretty good one.
I think it's 50% is going salad, but 10%,
now you're talking
100%
30,000. You're talking 30,000 calories. There's your 30,000 calories in Zygarde complete form. Okay.
Exactly. It needs it.
Oh yeah.
It gets self-conscious about its weight when it's 50%, so it tries to stay thin and eat the salads.
Exactly.
But it knows what it wants.
It technically has
it
technically has 100 mouths to feed, right? So,
it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does Rotom Heat cook the burger, then take it out and eat it just straight out of its oven?
Do ghosts need to eat though? I don't think ghosts need to eat.
That's true too.
I don't think Rotom
but then
needs
again,
to
you
eat.
could feed it berries, so I don't know. Who knows?
That's true.
But these are the questions you got to think about.
This is interesting. All right. This has been a good one.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let you guys answer it at home. And until then, we're gonna kick it on over to our mailbag. Welcome to our mailbag. Our mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and let us know your ideas. With that said, if you do give us a great conversation, we're going to go ahead and give you the Green Tauros badge, which is a sponsor of the show. It's Green Tauros, a fictional energy drink, the energy drink that gives you hooves. I said all of that backwards, but it's fine. I did forget to prep this, so I'm going to pull it up real quick because I already had it in my brain. But I want to make sure I do a YouTube comment this week to give everybody all that goodness that does a YouTube comment for us. I'm not going to do a top 5 comment only because those were all very long. We did go through them though. Lots of people left them. Thank you for leaving them. I'm going to go through.
I even left one.
You did. I saw.
I read them.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead.
Deserved love, guys. Come on. That's the best grass type.
I need to.
It is legitimately the best grass type, in my opinion. You try to prove me wrong, but legitimately, it is the best grass type. And Rillaboom made it. It should deserve a top 5 nod, in my opinion.
Let me pull up this one.
I
just slightly disagree.
VGC kind of ruined it for me with Rillaboom.
So I've got one picture. I'm gonna put it up on screen in front of my face today. Maybe.
I wish I could see the picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You guys can.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube, you will be able to see the picture, I guess. But yes, I'm saving it right now so that I can copy and then paste it onto OBS. But it won't do that for me because it doesn't like me. But this is a YouTube comment from Thunder Dragon Brave Lion. What a name. Great name. Great oldies. Everybody loves Thunder Lion. Thunderlion. There we go. There's the picture. It is on the screen now. I just want you guys, I want to get your thoughts, and I also want to reply to this because this person has left us a lot of other comments, but they're the same vein. Hey, Puckle crew, just had a thought that I think would be amazing. Imagine if the classic Pokemon anime got a redub, but with a really cool twist. Studio Polis at the helm, and they keep all the original dub names. Can you imagine how fantastic that would sound with their talent? So that will never happen because Pokemon owns the Pokemon anime. So they probably will not redub with anybody else, and I don't know that they would redub the Pokemon anime ever. They do mention at some point that this would be Rachel. It would be a way to commemorate Rachel Lillis, who is the voice actress for Misty. But again, I still don't think it would happen. But thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. It's a nice food for thought. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that, but if not, we can get to the emails.
Nope. All good.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And if you guys want to send us emails or write us comments, either way, we're going to jump to this first email, though. I'm going to get it because I get to read 2 today because it's a top 5 episode day. So, Tamal is coming. Hey there. This email is from Thomas O'Brien, not Tamal yet. Hey there, Puckle people. It seems I'm forced to be the contrarian this week. 2 of the Puckle bottom 5 Pokemon are in my top 5 / honorable mentions. Also, at least one of my bottom 5 is sure to upset someone. Top 5. Duraludon. I grew to love this Pokemon. More during Scarlet and Violet, mostly because of its evolution. So you like Archaludon, you don't like Duraludon. Regardless, it's still a cool Pokemon. Also, its Gigantamax form is pretty great. Graplocked. I'm not sure what drew me to him, but this Pokemon was a mainstay during my first playthrough of Gen 8. Thatch always says he wants more monster Pokemon. Well, here's your monster octopus. I don't disagree with you. I just don't understand it. Toxtricity. Its Gigantamax is probably my favorite. I would put Toxtricity in a top 5 list of cool Pokemon, specifically the amped form. Phalanx. It's like having 6 mini Spartan Pokemon in one. Urshifu. He may be broken in VGC, but he certainly isn't unmanageable. I agree with that as well. Also, he just looks cool. Yep. Urshifu was crafted to be a competitive Pokemon. It was crafted.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, it was designed perfecly.
Both of them.
You don't have 97 speed.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say, I almost said that exact same thing verbatim. You don't have 97 speed without a reason. Honorable mention, Boltund. He's such a good boy. He totally looks like the dog that loves you no matter what. Yeah, he's just a dog. That's the problem.
He's just a dog. Exactly.
Yeah.
Bottom 5. Cinderace. This was the starter I was least excited for, without question. Okay.
I like Cinderace.
Interesting.
Cinderace is okay.
I actually think Inteleon's worse than Cinderace, but
agreed.
I think Rillaboom's worse than all of them.
I think Rillaboom's the worst.
Berserker. Ooh. It isn't interesting enough for me to have the unnecessary research to get into how to get this evolution. Oh wait, that's Rune and Regress, not Berserker. My bad.
Okay.
Berserker. I wasn't excited about Galarian Meowth, and its evolution didn't do anything to change that. Well, I'm sorry you don't like Viking Cat.
As time has gone on, I've liked Berserker more and more.
I like Berserker a lot.
I don't like Galarian Meowth, but like.
Yeah.
Berserker is cool.
Thievul. I had 3 of these chase me down and battle me in succession on a random route that wasn't even the wild area, and I'm still salty about that.
Yeah.
That one is one I've been making polls, and that one actually has gotten a lot of traction. Of probably should have put Thievul in that bottom 5.
I almost suggested it, but it then went a different route.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with some of the things, but yeah.
Snom is also here. I didn't realize this until looking at the list of Gen 8 Pokemon on Cerebi, but Snom and Pincurchin are basically the same design, but with different typing. Snom makes the bottom 5 for having arguably the worst type combination in the game. That's why? Not just all the memes wearing you out?
No, it's so cute. No, Snom deserves love.
As always, keep up the good work. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Thomas O'Brien.
Oh.
What wouldn't you do?
I don't know.
All right. I believe this next one is yours, Claude. I believe it's going to be Cloud Bunny.
Yes, and I did not just pick it because they had Cloud in the name.
You should have. I would have respected you for that.
That's exactly how I did it. Hello, Puckle people. Cloud Bunny here. The emailer formerly known as Cloud. This is really weird. I'm Claude speaking, but there's Cloud here. Anyways, and first, I want to say thank you. It was honestly crazy that my first email was the winner of the Green Toros badge. Hooves! And just because I want to make whoever is reading this say it, snom, 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 snom. Now for the main event. My personal top and bottom 5 Gen 8 Pokemon in no particular order. Frostmoth. Yes, the moth that evolves from a caterpillar with its own cult following. Something I learned recently is that I enjoy moths, and by extension, moth Pokemon. This one is also an original typing as well.
Too bad it's like
if you don't
both of the worst types in the game, but it's fine.
It's still actually like its ability is really good. I like it.
It's very niche, and I think it got better with Terra. Like much better with Terra.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, anyways, 2 Barraskewda. Gonna be honest, I thought this was a Gen 9 mon, probably because I didn't own Swish. But the reason it's here is because it's my personal Primeape. No reason, I just like it. I like that's become a thing now. It's just like it's my personal Primeape.
Good day.
Okay.
I just irrationally like Primeape. I don't know why I like Primeape. I just think Primeape's cool. Okay.
It hit hard. It do thing good.
Primeape's
like
cool.
That's good enough for me.
Anyways, Ice Cube. Okay, I have a thing for 2 animals. Bunnies and penguins. It's a penguin with an ice cube for a skull. What's not to love? Oh yeah, the head under the ice cube. But we don't talk about that. 4, Runerigus. If you haven't heard yet, my favorite type is Ghost. But also Cursed Dragon Rock is a really cool idea for a Pokemon. Horrendous Evo method though. And then 5, Sinistea. I like to drink tea. Specifically, more English variations like Earl Grey. So combine a spooky ghost with tea and you get a good thing. And you can never have too much of a good thing unless it's Sinistea. Bottom 5 in no particular order. Toxel. Why? Why does it need to exist? And why is it wearing a flesh diaper? Awesome, great questions. It shouldn't. Toxicity should be its own form.
Have you thought about Machamp and how it just like part of its body is that belt?
It's a wrestling uniform. You of all people should understand and be okay with this.
What?
Both Machoke and Machamp have belt.
Anyways, Colossal. In my opinion, it should be a train or other locomotive. I think we're all in agreement on that.
Hard agree. What happened there?
Yeah, no idea.
How do we flub that? How do we flub that one across the finish line so hard?
Pincurchin. I think they forgot to put it in Alola because why is an electric sea urchin in Britain? Also, probably. Galarian Moltres. This just chalks up to personal taste. I don't care for the color scheme on it. It's also not a Gen 8 Pokemon in my mind. It's just a form of
a new Gen 1. Right? It's a repaint of a Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah. And then Phalanx. Okay, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of Phalanx. The army of Pokemon is a sick idea, but I don't like the Roman feathered helmets. They just look silly. Honorable mentions. Milcery. Okay. I like it, but I didn't have space for it. Stonjourner. Same as Milcery. Well, that's my top 5, bottom 5 for Gen 8. Thank you, Thatch and company, for running such an amazing podcast. It's awesome to wake up on Monday and pop on Puckle for a Monday morning mood boost. Anyways, depending on when you read this, you have 2 more emails to read. Best wishes and warmest regards. Cloud Bunny.
Well, we could have had 3 or 0. That was also options. All right. Shark, you get this next email. There's one more email after this. So I will let you get into this. This is from I forget who it is already.
Just Ben.
It's just Ben.
Yep. Howdy Puckle crew, or howdy do Puckle crew. It's been several weeks since my last email, but after hearing your top 5, bottom 5 Gen 8 Pokemon, I couldn't afford to miss the opportunity to say this. With all due respect to your personal opinions, this is the most shocking list since the infamous flying type episode.
The flying type episode was bad. It was bad. I wasn't there, and that's why. Okay.
What was wrong with it? Was I on that one?
No, you weren't.
Yes, I think.
Wait. No, Clod. No. I think Whimsicott was running it. I forget who was there. I came out. I looked at that list and I go, "What happened?"
It was What's
Charizard doing there? Puckle
So you usually
can't.
do it is what I'm hearing.
We do. Puckle cannot.
We half did, I think, in some sense. We definitely
Puckle-
redid it on,
yeah.
like, discussed it in the mailbag, fixing it.
Yes. We need to redo the
That
episode.
was
And we'll
because
revisit
they
that
had some-
list and compare and contrast and like smack down Mega Charizard Y. I digress.
yeah, digress. But without a further ado, I'd like to share my top 5 bottom 5 Gen 8 Pokemon. Top 5. Number 1, Hisuian Zoroark. One of my favorite Pokemon introduced in Gen 8. The Ghost normal type is unique, powerful, and interesting, and the design for Hisuian Zoroark is crazy cool. Significantly improved over the original, in my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna say it one more time. We purposely did not do
Yes.
any of the like reskins of existing Pokemon. All the Galarian
Yeah.
forms, all the Hisuian forms, we were told not to include those.
Yes.
Because
we
like
just did not.
otherwise, I would have had Moltres and I would have had Zoroark probably on my lists. Because
Yeah.
I do really like.
Yeah,
I do
Zoroark
agree.
definitely is probably the best, just design art wise.
I think I would have put Zoroark up there
Hisuian
too.
regional,
Yeah.
probably.
Yes.
Oh, it's
So-
hard. It's hands down the best. When we did the episode for regionals, I believe Hisuian Zoroark was in the top. Like,
And I
hands
believe
down.
Moltres was
Well, it has
also
to
there.
be.
Yeah, Moltres I think was also there.
I believe I was on that episode. Now that I think about it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, you can keep going.
Dragapult. As you can see, I believe Gen 8 was amazing for Ghost type. 2 of my top 3 favorite Ghost type mons in one generation. What a time to be dead. Joking aside, I love its color scheme, slick design, and the hilarity of shooting the 2 baby Dreepies from its head. Scorbunny, cute fire bunny, love it. Scorbunny was my first choice in Galar, and I loved journeying through Galar with my female Scorbunny I named Ember. Real original, I know. Toxtricity. Finally, a cool, ambiguous monster akin to some of the older design philosophies of the series.
Absolutely.
On
agree.
top of a rad design with 2 equally rad forms. I personally use the low-key form. The electric poison type is absolutely sick. Its theme of being an electric guitarist works really well for me too. I only wish Gmax Toxtricity was available when we first all played through Galar, because it's one of the best Gmax forms in my opinion.
Agreed.
Absolutely, actually, though. Yeah. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing here is controversial.
Nope, it's all truth. Number 5, Hisuian Gudra. One of my favorites simply because I was stunned that one of my least favorite final stages of a dragon type turned into one of my top 5 dragon types with the simple improvement of being by its steel shell. This design is what Gudra was always should have been.
All of your like half of
honorable-
your favorite Pokemon from this generation, I would like to point out, are just old Pokemon that got new forms.
Yep. Honorable mention to the amazing Gen 8 fairy types, aka Galarian Rapidash, another one.
Yeah, I
And
know.
the Grimmsnarl Hatterene lines. I just couldn't choose one. Which, to be fair, yeah, Grimmsnarl was one that it turns out we probably missed including as well. Based on the poll results.
No, that was right. We made the right choice of
No,
not
we made the
including it,
right
and
choice. No, we discussed it. We didn't mess up. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad leaving it out.
Not at all.
I don't feel bad.
All right, on to the bottom 5. In no particular order, these will be a little more brief. Mr. Rhyme, I totally agree with you guys.
Yeah, correct answer.
Obstagoon, I totally disagree
Bad.
with you guys.
Nope. Wrong.
Nope,
Bad
wrong.
take. All right. Next.
Mm.
Urshifu, this guy kind of killed competitive for me. I feel it's like over centralizing the meta teams than even Incineroar was. It's
Wrong.
just too good and I hate it.
No, that's wrong. No. Okay, you can't even compare it to Incineroar. Incineroar's usage at one point was 80%. 80%. 8 out of 10 teams ran Incineroar. Urshifu never even touched that.
It got close to 50, I think, at best, at most.
Urshifu is a beautifully crafted Pokemon. There are several
For
ways to get
VGC.
around it. For VGC, yes. It is a beautifully. That's all they care about, Clod. By they, I mean Pokemon. But like, it is a beautifully crafted Pokemon, hands down. So I will disagree. I think VGC, it's very good. I think if you were to play competitive singles, Urshifu was definitely busted there, but in a doubles format, Urshifu exists and fills a very interesting place. It was meant to be powerful, but it was also very balanced, in my opinion. Sorry, rant over.
Yeah. No, you're good. Choodle, little weirdo, shouldn't exist because Dreadnought would have been fine as a single stage. And Colossal should have been a train.
Yes.
Everyone agrees it should have been a train.
It should have been a
instead
train.
of a pile of coal.
Yes. I don't like Roly-Coly was so cool.
Yep.
Roly-Coly is so cool. And then
Carcoal is so cool.
And Carcoal is cool. And then they're just like,
Carcoal's
what if we
so
ruined
good.
it? What if we ruined it?
Just honorable mention, all 4 Galar Fossilmons. I don't like them at all, even if their design concept has a funny real-world equivalent. They look so pained and ugly. These are not children of Arceus, but tortured creations of the reckless, careless, careless, the anti-Arceus. That was a mouthful.
Them's fighting words.
Wow. I thought it was
Thanks
really
for
cute and fun.
Yeah.
But
I didn't care at all. I've never been big into the Fossilmons besides Aurorus. I think Aurorus and Bastiodon. Those are my 2 favorite fossils.
I can see that. I can see that.
And if you have a problem with that, make sure you DM
I'm a
Thatch.
Rampardos.
Leave me a terrible comment.
Yeah. Thanks for reading. Later for Alligator. Just Ben.
We've got one more email for you guys because I do 4 when we do a top 5 episode because there's one person that emails us every time, Tamal, who likes to send us home with just like a little bit of something extra, right? So this is Tamal's email this time. Good day, Puckle. I'm writing this week's email on a plane heading back home from an overseas holiday and spending way too much money at the Pokemon Center in both Tokyo and Kyoto. Which one in Tokyo? There's so many in Tokyo. Being
is all of them.
I have also done that. Being in a cramped flying tube with heaps of strangers got me thinking, would traveling with Pokemon make the whole process better or worse? So here are my top 5 and bottom 5 Gen 8 Pokemon, but you're seated next to them on an international flight. For argument's sake, let's pretend that they've all been made approximately friend-sized. Yamper in the top 5. Yamper. Who doesn't like sitting next to a cute dog? Oh, look at it. Who's a good zappy boy? You are. Yes, you are. Number 4. Appleton and All Creamy. Pick your favorite here. Sitting next to this generous Pokemon means that after a lukewarm dinner that somehow tastes like plastic, it's more than happy to share some of its appley goodness or delicious whipped cream. Number 3, Toxtricity, low-key form. Sort of like sitting next to a retired rock star, only without the smell of smoke and cheap drinks. Unlike their amped-up form brethren, low-key form Toxtricity are happy to share stories from their career playing in a sold-out stadiums in Galar, recommend music choices, or just zone out and do their own thing. Number 2, Wooloo. Put up the armrest and snuggle right back into this Pokemon's massive soft wool. It won't even notice. The flight will be over before you know it once you've fallen asleep against this Pokemon. Number 1, Indeedee. These Pokemon just can't help themselves. After the seatbelt sign has been turned off, they are happy to help you with whatever you need. It's like having your own personal steward. Who needs first-class seats when you've got your very own butler sitting next to you? Bottom 5. Number 5, Sneasler. While the flight attendants are serving food and beverages, this Pokemon is serving something else. That's right, attitude. You know that Sneasler is going to be looking down on you the whole flight. As you pull out your cheap airline supplied earbuds, she pulls a top of the line pair of noise canceling headphones. She can afford in-flight Wi-Fi and has the best snacks. Halfway through the flight, she starts painting her nails and you're unsure how she got those pungent nail polish jars through airport security. Number 4, Calyrex. Sitting next to this has-been king of Galar is like sitting next to the world's most uninteresting boomer who won't stop sharing their life story even though you've made it plainly obvious. You just want to sit back and listen to music. Its breath reeks of stale carrots, and while it laments about how things used to be back in my day, when you've made it extra obvious that you're no longer interested, Calyrex simply possesses everyone in the seats surrounding you and they all continue their story in unison. Number 3, phalanx. Somehow every individual phalanx needs its own seats, but there are 2 in front of you, 2 on either side of you, and 2 behind you. The biggest issue is whatever the brass does, the troops copy almost immediately. Brass reclines their seats, the troops do as well, right in your space. They all watch the same movie and copy each other's laughs exactly, and are incredibly loud. They all eat at the same time, chewing noisily. It's maddening. Number 5, Toxel. Ever been sat next to a crying baby on a flight? What about a crying baby that secretes poison and gives off random sparks of electricity? Depending on its level, you get 2 flavors of misery by sitting next to this Pokemon. At low levels, it cries, fusses, spits up toxic fluid everywhere, and gets its sticky fingers on your stuff. At higher levels, it constantly leans over into your seat and asks if you have games on your phone. That last one was pretty good, yeah. Number 1, Morpeko. At first, things are fine. You're sitting next to a cute little Morpeko. The plane takes off. You reach cruising altitude. Then it happens. Morpeko's tummy rumbles and it switches to hangry mode. Now you're sitting next to a furious little critter 35,000 feet in the air who is stealing your food, jumping around the cabin, causing a scene, and will not rest until it's eaten every last morsel in sight. If the plane turns around to go back to the airport, consider yourself lucky. Morpeko behaves worse than Americans heading to Cancun. Brits headed to Bindorm and Aussies heading to Bali combined. Come to think of it, most Gen 8 Pokemon would be pretty bad to sit next to. I guess that's why they take Corviknight taxis everywhere. Cheers, mates. To Maul. Well, thank you for that, guys.
Thank you. Yes, that was great.
Yeah, there have been plenty of other emails. I would like to point out Togenik sent in a wonderful email and actually made a whole PowerPoint. I didn't think it would be appropriate to do the PowerPoint in what most people listen to, the audio podcast. So that PowerPoint is going to be presented this week on stream at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast and on our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So please check that out if you're interested in checking out what Togenik has to say. That will also be available on YouTube post the stream, so you can watch that whenever. So we will get to that. I promise, Togenik. I will not let your Grimmsnarl love go unnoticed.
Yeah,
but yes,
it has been noticed if you come to the Discord, if you see, he was definitely like, why do we keep leaving it off? Because I even left it off of doing my little polls of what Pokemon were snubbed. Because there's so many. There's a lot of good Pokemon. I just kind of didn't have room for it. And you know what? The people have spoken. The people think that, Grimmsnarl's a top 10 Pokemon. Probably should have been top 5 then. So, or at least been in that discussion.
I think so.
We're not mad about it.
I would put it over Flapple.
Here's my hot take. Impidimp is over Grimmsnarl.
Ooh,
Boom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, correct. But yeah, I would like to make a change to the Green Tauros badge today. Instead of giving it to anybody, I think most of the people who have written in actually have it already. I would like to give it to Togenik, even though they are not.
Yeah. If you want to know why, come check out the stream.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly how this works.
Yes.
I will give a presentation about why Grimmsnarl should not have gotten snubbed. But with that, guys, if you want to email us next week, let us know what Pokemon games in the future you think Pokemon should make. Additionally, what Pokemon would order a hamburger? Let us know at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Additionally, if you want to hang out with us throughout the week, best way to do so is to come to our Discord at pucldiscord.com. Additionally, you can also follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook. You can also follow us over at Twitch at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast or at YouTube, youtube.com/puclpodcast. If you're already on YouTube, hey, drop us a sub, drop us a like. Honestly, if you're listening to us on the show, drop us a like or a rating wherever you are. All that kind of stuff helps us out. Finally, if you want to help support the show, best way to do so is go to our Patreon at patreon.com/puclpodcast. I am hoping to get a video version of Game Corner out over there very soon for those of you at the $10 tier. And additionally, the mugs are going out, or the glassware by the time this episode's out should go out to the $20 patrons because we gave out pint glasses. And this year, or this month at the $20 tier, if you're patron for 3 months up until June. We have a Puckle Love Ball shirt that's going to be going out in June. So I'm very excited for that as well. But with that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I've been Clod 9.
I've been Sharkfinnagen.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.